is to have as little friction as possible, just enough holding it, and depending on how much travel you want is how you want to adjust the spring. So the more it's sticking up, the more travel you're going to have, because it's going to, and more pressure, because it's going to require you to move the trigger further. If you want a crispy hair trigger, you barely want any pressure on the spring, and you want that sear just sticking up right above, and then just a little pull, and that hammer will slide right off there. So you can tweak that as much as you want. Not only can you adjust the distance or the travel of your trigger, but you can also adjust the pressure, and that has to do with your spring itself. If you use a real light spring, you could have a large trigger pull or a large travel, but there won't be much pressure, so it can still be very light. Me personally, I like a crispy hair trigger with hardly any travel, so you just touch it and it goes, because the act of pulling your finger, especially with a pistol, that whole time you're pulling it, your hand's shaking, the muscles are kind of moving around. So when you touch the trigger, you just want it to go off, provided that you're aiming correctly. So I like a real crispy trigger. So the way I'm going to set this is to just have hardly any travel and just barely engage that hammer. So as soon as I touch it, it goes. And that's basically the theory behind how this whole trigger assembly works. So that is the trigger modding portion of the Great Crosman Build video series. I hope you enjoyed this one. We're waiting on some parts. Once we get those in, we'll continue on with the rest of the build and all the other mods. So hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.